On to the comments of Leanne Dalziel and Materia Ture. But before I do so, I'd just like to place on record the Honourable Leanne Dalziel keeps asking why are we discussing these bills individually and not as a group of three. And let me just advise her and the rest of the House that the ACT Party had no objection to discussing the Parliamentary Service Amendment Bill and the Electoral Finance Reform and Advance Voting Amendment Bill together. All that we asked for was that they not be discussed at the same time as the Electoral Referendum Bill, which we saw as a totally separate bill and we wanted discussed in a totally separate debate as had been proposed prior to 2 o'clock this afternoon. But let me, Mr Chair, come back to the comments of Materia Ture, because if I can quickly find her comments, which hopefully I can do. Yes. Mr Chair, Leanne Dalziel referred to the fact that Materia Ture had used the opportunity on speaking on this first part of the bill to engage in quite a wide-ranging debate. And she sort of related the history of MMP. And I want to come back to the history of MMP, Mr Chair, and the reason why we're actually having this referendum. But, sir, there are comments that Materia Ture has made this afternoon that quite simply astound me. I cannot believe what she has said. Because, sure, what she said is, sir, she said there will not be the opportunity to have the best possible information. Those were her words. There will not be an opportunity to have the best possible information. We have taken from the community the chance to have the best possible information. What is more important than actually voting on or informing people about the system that elects their politicians? Not so much the politicians themselves, but actually informing people about the electoral systems, their options. And she criticises the fact, sir, that people will be denied that information. Well, sir, the reason I found those comments absolutely astounding, sir, is I suspect the Green Party and the other members of this House are actually voting for provisions in this bill that will restrict that very information. Restrict that very information. Will deny, Mr Chair, the opportunity for groups to pull together, to form organisations, to stand out and to speak for or to speak against a particular electoral system. Because what this bill does, sir, and the reason it is so flawed, is the fact that it restricts the rights of ordinary New Zealanders to spend no more than $300,000 promoting a particular system. No more than $300,000, sir, and Materia Ture should actually having a good hard look at herself and her party's position, because she criticises the fact that the people of New Zealand will be denied the opportunity to have the best possible information. And it's Materia Ture and it's the other members of this House who are doing exactly that, sir, because they are restricting the right of third parties to be involved in this debate. Sir, and I want to come to the comments of Leanne Dalziel, and I think that she made some very important points, because Leanne Dalziel and the Labour Party is another group of people, sir, that have argued that we need to restrict the rights of people to put their position. And I think that the Honourable Leanne Dalziel has very well explained this afternoon why we shouldn't put that restriction. Because what she has just done is she has just quoted our current Prime Minister. And she quoted our Prime Minister when he was leader of the opposition. And she says, and I've got no reason to disbelieve what she said, John Key, now Prime Minister of New Zealand, says, I think they will vote MMP out. I think that they will not vote for first past the post. I think they will vote for a new proportional system. And so the reason I make those points is the Prime Minister is actually making comments. He's giving the public a steer. He's actually indicating that maybe it's not such a good idea to have MMP, but if we're going to vote out MMP, perhaps we need to vote in a new system that is proportional, or as Leanne Dalziel would argue, is only slightly proportional. And so the Prime Minister has got a huge weight. Just by very manner of his position, he has a huge weight. And, sir, if you take the position of the Labour Party, and if you are opposed to what the Prime Minister is saying, What we're doing, sir, is we're restricting the right of ordinary New Zealanders to stand up and to speak out against the Prime Minister. To speak out against the... Speak out. Yes. Well, Leanne Dalziel saying they've got 300... Mr Chair. Leanne Dalziel is saying that they've got 300,000. Yes, they have got 300,000, sir, but they've got 300,000 in the context of a general election where the Labour Party will spend close to $5 million, the National Party will spend close to $5 million, the Green Party spent $1.8 million, sir, at the last election, so no reason to disbelieve that they won't do the same thing again the next election. So in the context, sir, of political spending of 10, 12, 15, maybe more millions of dollars, people who want to put the alternative view to the Prime Minister, and I'm not saying whether the Prime Minister is right or wrong, but people who want to put the alternative view, Mr Chair, are restricted to spending no more than $300,000. And the reason why, the Honourable Leanne Dalziel, the reason why it's important not to have those restrictions is because the Prime Minister is in a very powerful position. He can make comments that are carried in the media that give one particular voting system a favour. He can steer the public in a particular way. And that seems to be what Leanne Dalziel is criticising it. So if you strongly support MMP, and so there are people in this country who do, how do you counter those comments? How do you counter the comments? How do you counter the free publicity that the Prime Minister gets when he goes on national television and he says, look, these are the faults of NMP, but we've got a better deal for you? And the only way you can counter those comments, sir, is you can try and get into the media, you can try and get a campaign, and you can try and put up arguments, sir, so that the people of New Zealand are informed. So the people of New Zealand, sir, can be exactly in the position that Materia Ture would have them, sir, so that they are informed, so they do have the very best possible information, sir. And the ACT Party will be supporting this bill, Mr Chair. We'll be supporting it because we think the people of New Zealand should have that opportunity. But, sir, it's very, very sad, I think, a sad day for New Zealand when we're passing a bill that is going to restrict the right of New Zealanders to participate in this referendum and deny New Zealanders to get the best possible information in the same way that the Green Party said they should. Thank you, Mr Chair.
Mr Chair.